Okay, so get this. What if I told you something you use, like, every single day was basically a gift from ancient aliens? All right, maybe not literally, but today's deep dive, it's going to change how you look at that bar of soap in your shower forever.
It's interesting, right? What's fascinating is how such a simple thing, soap, can have such a huge impact on human health.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we all learned about soap in school, but all the history behind it, the ancient myths, I had no idea.
It's true. And it's amazing. The science behind it, it's just as wild as those ancient stories. This deep dive is actually based on a single video, and it covers everything from, well, the chemistry of soap to ancient Sumerian mythology.
Seriously. Okay, so tell me what makes soap so special.
Basically, it all comes down to its molecular structure. Imagine this. Soap molecules, they're designed to be attracted to both water and oil at the same time.
Really?
Yeah, so one end of the molecule is like, water, you're my best friend, and the other end is all about that oil.
Okay, I'm picturing one of those like tiny magnets, but instead of sticking to the fridge, it's grabbing onto dirt and germs.
That's a great way to put it. Picture them as tiny clamps latching onto the oil and grime that those bacteria and viruses love so much.
Oh, I see.
And you know how a lot of those nasty germs hide behind a shield of oil?
Yeah.
Well, soap just slices right through it. That's the key.
It's like soap is disarming the enemy and then bam, takes them out.
Exactly. And as simple as it sounds, that little process is crazy effective. Like, we're talking 99.9% of germs gone, just like that 20 seconds.
Wow. So basically, soap is a superhero.
Pretty much. I mean, it's considered one of the most important public health things ever. And get this, the Sumerians, they were using it 5,000 years ago.
No way!
Yeah.
5,000 years ago. That's insane. Didn't you say something about ancient myths about soap?
Yeah. So they've got this myth about this woman, Ninizna, who's actually the goddess Ningsu in disguise. And she gifts humanity with soap.
Okay, so maybe not actual gods, but still a pretty cool origin story for something we use every single day.
Right. And there's this really interesting connection to their epic of Gilgamesh, where the gods, they won't let humans have the tree of life, the source of, like, immortality.
Wait, hold on. Are you saying soap is the next best thing to immortality?
Well, not exactly. But the myth shows how important soap was to how they thought about health and,
Yeah.
living a long life. Even though they didn't have a clue about germs, they knew soap kept them healthier. It's kind of a cool parallel when you think about it.
Totally. It makes you think about the things we take for granted. But you know what I don't get? If soap is so amazing, how come it was seen as like this luxury for so long?
Yeah, it's definitely a head scratcher when you think about how important it is for our health.
Yeah.
But until we figured out the whole bacteria thing and how they make us sick, the real impact of soap, it kind of flew under the radar.
So are you saying we almost wiped ourselves out because we didn't realize how important soap was? Talk about a wake-up call.
Basically.
Mm.
But once scientists found out about those microscopic troublemakers, soap went from a fancy treat to, like, the first line of defense. It was huge.
Wow. What a wild ride for something you can now get at any grocery store, right? So we've got ancient gods, life-saving potential. What else can you tell me about the fascinating world of soap?
Well, just like with any recipe worth its salt, the ingredients in soap, they've changed a lot over time.
Oh, like what? Did they have some sort of ancient Sumerian super ingredient?
You might be surprised to learn that a lot of the early soaps made from animal fat.
Animal fat! Get out of here!
Oh yeah, goat fat, for instance, that was a popular.
Goat fat. That's a long way from my lavender oatmeal bar.
It is, it is. But those old school methods, they really show how inventive people have always been.
Hmm.
As time went on and we learned more about chemistry and stuff like plant-based oils, well, soap got a serious upgrade.
So like plant-based oils are the top shelf now.
Yep, olive oil. Considered the gold standard these days.
Olive oil. Makes sense. Like liquid gold for your skin. But I'm guessing there have been some, shall we say, interesting detours on the road to luxurious lather.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, the video actually mentions a pretty unconventional example from the movie Fight Club. Remember that one?
How could I forget? That movie's wild. Let's just say it's not exactly FDA-approved soap making.
That's one way to put it. But it does show this interesting scientific thing called similar compatibility.
Similar compatibility. Okay, you just have to break that down for me.
Sure. So basically it means substances with, like, matching molecular structures.
Yeah.
They tend to get along better,
Get along better, meaning what?
meaning they mix and react more easily. In the case of soap, this means fats similar to the oils our skin makes naturally. They're easier to break down and absorb, which in theory should make for a gentler clean.
So that's the science behind the whole Fight Club thing. Okay,
Right.
I'm equal parts intrigued and slightly grossed out. But hey, gotta love that deep dive knowledge. What other unexpected soap uses did this video uncover?
Well, did you know you can use soap to keep your glasses from fogging up?
Wait, really? Tell me more. My glasses have been driving me crazy ever since masks became a thing.
Oh, it's the easiest thing ever. You just rub a little bit of dry soap on your lenses, buff it out with like a soft cloth, and boom, no more fog. It's like magic, but with, science.
So next time I'm defogging my glasses, I'll be sure to thank the ancient Sumerians for their accidental ingenuity. Or maybe just like the magic of chemistry.
A little bit of both, maybe? But hey,
Yep.
speaking of ancient knowledge, this video also talks about this guy, Jabir ibn Hayyan. He was this 9th century polymath, super smart guy who might have been the first person to actually make soap intentionally.
Intentionally. So not just a happy accident with some leftover animal fat and ashes.
Seems not. This Jabir was a serious alchemist, always experimenting in his lab, mixing things up, trying to figure out, well, the universe, basically, and maybe even how to live forever.
Alchemy and soap. Now that's a combo I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, it did seem kind of strange to us now, right? But alchemy,
Yeah.
it was like the OG science back then. And get this, Jabir, this guy, he even tried eating soap.
He ate it. Okay, I'm officially concerned for this guy. Besides being impressed, that is.
Yeah, I don't recommend trying that one at home. But it just goes to show how far these alchemists would go to, unlock the secrets of the universe. They thought that if they could just figure out how to manipulate the right substances, even something as ordinary as soap, they can find the key to, well, pretty much anything.
Talk about dedicated. But getting back to soap making, it wasn't just those Sumerians and alchemists, right? The video also mentions something about the Yoruba people of West Africa and soap.
Oh, totally. They've got this whole rich history and traditions around soap. They go back centuries. And get this, they also thought it was a gift from, you guessed it, the divine.
Team Divine Gift is on a roll. But how'd they figure out soap? Was it like another accidental invention?
Kind of. So the video describes how they'd burn these sacrifices. And they would use all kinds of things. Fruit tree bark, palm leaves, cocoa beans, even animal offerings.
Okay, that took a turn, like a big bonfire ritual.
Exactly. They believed that the ritual let them talk to the divine. And after the fire died down, they would find this black, sticky stuff in the ashes, which to them was like a direct message from above.
And that, my friend, was soap.
Ding, 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 we have a winner. They'd rub this gift all over themselves, thinking it, had blessings, purifying powers, all that. They had no idea they'd basically discovered super soap.
That's wild. So we've got the ancient Sumerians, a 9th century alchemist who, let's be honest, maybe shouldn't have quit his day job, and the Yoruba people all obsessed with soap. It just goes to show, human ingenuity. It's a beautiful thing.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it makes you think, what other awesome scientific discoveries are out there, just hidden in plain sight, waiting for us to, rediscover them?
Okay, now you've got my mind racing. But before we go full Indiana Jones and start raiding ancient tombs for, the secret soap recipe, let's talk about this whole African black soap thing. That's gotten pretty trendy these days. Is that, the real deal, straight from those Yoruba traditions?
It's definitely connected, but you could say it's got a bit of a modern twist. The video mentions how a North American marketer basically took that story of Yoruba soap and, well, shared it with the world. They were all about those all-natural origins and the amazing benefits and everything.
Ah, so ancient tradition meets 21st century marketing. It makes sense, though. Everyone loves a good origin story. But you got to wonder, how much of it is, the real deal versus, marketing hype?
Oh, for sure. It's a great example of how tricky it can be when you've got cultural exchange. And let's be honest, sometimes even appropriation, especially when people are trying to, make a buck off of traditional knowledge.
Oof, yeah. That's a whole other can of worms. But let's rewind for a sec back to soap being a luxury item. You said it was even taxed like crazy. That's nuts.
I know, right? It's hard to wrap your head around. Here we are thinking of soap as the most basic thing ever. But back in the day, it was like the iPhone of hygiene products, taxed by all the big empires.
Can you?
It does, doesn't it? But the video suggests that things were different back then. Their whole understanding of economics and social status, totally different. And without the whole germs are real memo fully sinking in, the whole soap equals health thing, not so obvious.
So it was more like, ooh, this soap smells fantastic and my skin feels like a baby's bottom, but not sure it's worth emptying my coin purse.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
The video even said that the amount of fat you needed to make just one bar of soap, that could make 100 candles. Candles apparently were a hot commodity.
Candles. You're kidding me, right? I can't even fathom a world where soap takes a backseat to a candle.
I know, it sounds crazy now, doesn't it? But it just shows you how much our ideas about hygiene and, what causes disease have changed.
Thank goodness for progress. Can you imagine if we were all still walking around worried about smelling bad, but not about, like, spreading deadly diseases? Shudder. But how did we finally figure out that soap wasn't just some fancy indulgence?
Well, the video points to one major game changer, the discovery of bacteria. As soon as those microscopic ninjas were unmasked as the culprits behind all those nasty illnesses, suddenly hygiene, and by extension soap, shot straight to the top of everyone's priority list.
It's like, hold up, these invisible things are making us sick. Maybe we need to rethink this whole cleanliness thing.
Exactly. And just like that total shift in perspective, soap went from luxury to lifesaver, essential for protecting, well, everyone.
Talk about a glow up. Soap saving lives since.
Well, probably forever, no doubt. The video even makes a connection between ancient Rome, where they kind of slacked off on the whole hygiene thing, stopped using soap as much, let those bathhouses fall apart, and the devastating plagues that wiped out like a third of Europe in the Middle Ages.
Okay, that's seriously heavy stuff. So you're saying the mighty Roman Empire might have stood a chance if they'd just, like, embraced the power of soap? Who knew something so simple could have changed the course of history?
It's pretty mind-blowing, right? It just shows you how powerful even the smallest inventions can be. We're talking ripple effects across centuries.
So we've gone from soap being a gift from the gods to a luxury item for the elite to a must-have for public health and back again, it seems. Like, soap is having a major moment right now.
It's true. With everything going on in the world, people are way more aware of hand washing and all that. It's like we're rediscovering what those ancient civilizations knew all along. Soap is kind of magical.
What's old is new again.
Totally. And honestly, it's about time. Soap deserves a place at the top.
I know, right? It's kind of crazy. We think about soap every day, well, hopefully, but this whole hidden history, it's like we're uncovering these ancient secrets just by talking about it.
It really is remarkable. It makes you wonder what other everyday things are out there just waiting for us to, rediscover their magic. Remember that quote from the video? The factory owner? He said soap was like the foundation of civilization.
Oh, yeah. At first I thought that was a little dramatic, but honestly, now I'm not so sure.
Exactly. It shows how something so simple, so ordinary, can actually be, kind of revolutionary. For centuries, it's been there, silently protecting us, helping societies flourish.
It's easy to forget about all that when you're, like, washing your hands, But can you imagine back then not even knowing about germs and stuff, and then suddenly, bam, you've got this weapon against disease.
I know. And it's not just about the practical side of things either. Think about it, so many traditions and ceremonies, they all involve washing, cleansing, purifying. It's like this universal thing, right?
You're right. We all want to be clean, both physically and, like, spiritually. And soap has become a part of that. It's almost symbolic.
Totally. From those ancient rituals to our modern-day hygiene obsession, soap's everywhere. And to think, it all started because someone wanted to get clean.
It's actually kind of beautiful when you think about it that way. This thing, born from ashes and fat, shaping human civilization. Who knew?
It really does make you wonder, what else are we missing? If something as simple as soap can be this powerful, this world-changing, what other everyday miracles are we taking for granted?
Now that is a question worth pondering. Maybe we all need to channel our inner alchemist, just like Jabir, and look at the world with fresh eyes, a little more curiosity.
Absolutely. There's a whole universe of amazing things out there just waiting to be discovered. We just have to be open to seeing them.
Well said. This deep dive into the world of soap. Let's just say, I'll never look at a bar the same way again. It just goes to show knowledge is everywhere, even in the most unexpected places.
It's true. Sometimes all it takes is a new perspective to uncover the extraordinary in the ordinary.
And on that note, we'll leave you with this. What will you choose to deep dive into today? Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and hey, maybe keep a bar of soap handy. You never know when it might come in handy.